Hello and a very warm welcome to an inspiring episode of Forbes India Presents Business Lodestones, where we bring you exceptional stories from the world of business, science, innovation, academia and leadership. In a country where academia and industry are joining forces to drive transformative change, biotechnology is fast becoming one of the most dynamic fields shaping India's future. And today I'm joined by one of India's leading voices in biotech, Dr. Debjani Dasgupta, Director of the School of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics at Patil University, Navi Mumbai. From pioneering research in anti-cancer drug discovery to mentoring the next generation of bioscience leaders, Dr. Dasgupta's work is at the cutting edge of innovation, education, and environmental impact. Let's dive into her vision, breakthroughs and bold plans for the future of biotech in India. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Dasgupta.
Thank you.
I'm so delighted, Dr. Dasgupta, to have you here. And what a pleasure, to see a woman at the helm of things. And I think that for me is always something that gets me excited, because apart from seeing the professional journeys in these industries, it's also very interesting to see what ambition takes the entire movement forward, for women. And there's such few women in STEM, and we have the highest dropout rates. So, when I'm sitting in front of somebody who is at the helm of affairs and doing such wonderful work, it's a privilege. Thank you for agreeing to be on our show, and welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
2012 is when you started with your journey with the School of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics. What was the institution back then, and where is it today? What was the journey like? What were the changes? Take me through it.
Thank you for having me here. Yes, I joined the Department of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics of Patil University in 2012. But then things were quite different. After that, there has been a lot of excitement, and we have had such wonderful faculty. I've been able to recruit such wonderful faculty, and the whole team has been excited to meet the challenges of biotechnology. And these subjects provide answers to problems of human life, healthcare, sustainability on the planet, food security problems. Everything can be dealt with biotechnology and bioinformatics in a very, very effective manner and with less cost. So we have designed new, curricula, new programs to meet the needs of the present society and the present world globally, whatever the challenges are. And we have built very state-of-the-art laboratories. We've nurtured them, looked after them, and we still keep doing that, and that's not easy. This is a different ball game, a niche area, totally a niche area, and requires a lot of hard work. We've also collaborated with national universities, national institutions of research, where we understand fundamental research. We cannot do fundamental research. So we understand the fundamental research that these national institutions do, and we then apply it. And we have mentors from these, and we also encourage community outreach, for our students. So they go out into the community. They understand problems. They go out into the villages. They understand problems of the villagers, how to deal with the soil, which crop to sow. And we explain to them. We make microbial consortia, and we develop their soil, give it back to them, and then, they develop. So we solve problems of the society. Grassroots problems are solved, by our faculty and our students. And I am thankful to the Almighty for such a wonderful work that we've been able to do.
No, I think you said very correctly that, when it's a team of people, passionate people, when they come together to develop something. And then, of course, it's collaborations and associations with people, like-minded people who are doing a wonderful job. Especially when we see the field of biotech and bioinformatics, there is so much. It is the industry of future. Everybody is sort of looking, as you said, to these industries for answers to a lot of complex issues. What within this excites you the most? Or how do you actually decide that this aspect or this department needs a little more of my attention, and perhaps this is something the rest of them can take care of? What is your personal attachment?
You see, first of all, I analyze what we have, what kind of strengths we have, right? And what kind of strengths my faculty have. What can they deliver, right? What is the need that what kind of feedback we are getting from the industry? What are the needs of the society? And I strike a balance between the two. And then I design new curricula. I design new programs, and I see what is the market,
that agility is so important.
Yes, agility. We are very young and agile and adaptable.
Yeah.
We adapt very easily, and our curriculum shifts, according to the feedback from our stakeholders. So
how do you see, Dr. Dasgupta, the new age demography that is getting into the universities, that is getting into the research area? I'm never able to quite put my finger on what ticks for this generation. And you must be working with so many young researchers. What is that like? What are they excited about? What brings them to academia in the first place when, now there are so many options? But when you look at an institute which is so deeply rooted in research, right, you should be able to analyze what kind of mind space these researchers are coming to you with.
See, it's a very interesting question, and we have different kinds of students coming to us. Some who are on the periphery, and some who want to nosedive deep into the subject.
Right.
Now, those who want to nosedive into, we really catch hold of them. And we're looking for them constantly. We are on the lookout for them. And we catch hold of them. And then we mentor. We have a strong mentorship system in the department.
Right.
And we mentor them well. We see what their interests are and how we can push them into the right direction. And this mentorship is not just limited to our faculty. We also send them to national institutions.
Right.
So they get national mentorship. And if you do this system properly, there are enough scientists in this country who will come forward and help you.
You've been with, of course, this department from 2012, but you have an illustrious career in the field. Yes. What do you think is the main challenge that you see when we talk about bringing academia and the industry together? What are some of those challenges that are very India-centric? Is it the quality? Is it the departments? Is it the know-how? Where do you think the other institutes that are in the country perhaps may need that push from the government or other stakeholders? What do you think is that challenge?
See, this is also a very interesting question. Besides the IITs, there are very few universities and very few institutions, leave alone the colleges,
right,
very few institutions who are, in such collaboration with the industry.
True.
Now, this is because of talent shortage, right? And because of the commitment, not non-commitment of academia. Fortunately for us, we are consultants to a large number of industries.
Right.
So we do problem solving for these industries. And that has built a certain level of confidence amongst the industry people. There's word of mouth, which goes on. And so there is a great degree of confidence that we have built with the industry. We keep them engaged in our curriculum building, in our students. So they know that whatever is going on here is
that makes so much
honest,
sense.
Yes.
Yeah, because that collaboration between academia and tech is so important, because it shouldn't be that when people go to these industries, they have to be retrained all over again. So I think that is one of the challenges that I've spoken to a lot of academicians, and they say the same thing, that unless we keep our curriculum agile, unless we keep that collaboration with the industry healthy, especially in higher education and research, that is so important. But then how do you, a lot of it is administrative work. And, I hear this from a lot of academicians that, admin work is a pain. But that needs to be done with your own active research and mentoring roles. How do you keep that balance?
It is, it's difficult, but not impossible. And in my case, I've told you, I've got a fantastic group of faculty who help me with the administration. And we have a wonderful boss. That is Dr. Ajinkya D.Y. Patil, who's our chancellor and chairman of the D.Y. Patil group. And his motto, he writes everywhere, love all, serve all. And I thought it would be lovely to follow this motto. And so I deal with every situation with a lot of empathy, with a feeling of service, and honesty. And so administration becomes easy. Problems of the department becomes easy. Right. And that leaves me enough time for my research work. And I am a student. I have constantly wanted to learn.
That's lovely to hear.
Yeah. And I think without this straight in one can't go ahead doing research. So that, brings the balance very beautifully.
Wonderful. I'm now keen to talk to you about some of the research work that is happening. One of them is herbal drug discovery, which is an emerging yet very complex field. But what excites you most about integrating traditional knowledge with modern biotech? Because now we are suddenly finding a lot of collaboration between the two. What excites you about that?
It is very important, to validate what we have in terms of herbal medicine in this country.
Right.
We have a tradition of Ayurveda, right, which is a very deep-rooted understanding of the human physiology and functioning.
True.
Right? Much more than what medical, knowledge is now. And we need to validate all the findings of Ayurveda through modern biotechnology techniques and bring it globally to the world. When I was in the US doing my postdoctoral studies, I used to have a lot of Chinese mates in the laboratory. And they would swear almost by Chinese traditional medicine.
Yes. Of course.
And when I went to China and Hong Kong, I actually saw universities dedicated to traditional medicines. We don't have that here.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us in D.Y. Patil University, we have the School of Ayurveda. So we collaborate with the School of Ayurveda and we do a lot of work. I personally have done a lot
research,
of
department research.
Interdisciplinary research, and we collaborate together. And I personally have done a lot of work in this area and worked on anti-cancer drugs, a combination of chemotherapy and herbal medicine.
And how with precision treatment that is more successful.
Has worked very well in some cases. In some cases, it has worked very well. More work needs to be done because it's a very complex process.
Right.
But at least
it's good to know that there is a lot of inter-department work that can happen with the kind of research that needs to come out.
Absolutely.
Well, another aspect of your work is bioremediation using microbial systems. Big words there. How do you see this contributing to India's environmental crisis that we are in?
You see, microbes, I will say, are the invisible kings and change makers in this universe. We do not know the power of microbes. And so it is imperative for biotechnologists to study microbial systems. We focus on marine biotechnology.
All right.
So we have studied mangroves, biotechnology. We've done the microbes of the mangroves. Right. We have studied bioremediation of coastal, areas which have been polluted, and the effluents that come out of the industries, and there's a lot of pollution there. We have worked on all of that. And I think to save this wonderful coastline of India, which is such a large coastline, and there is such a lot of biodiversity along these coastlines, we need very strong biotechnology, marine biotechnology, to keep these things intact.
There is a lot of tech that is now coming in. We have computational biology, silico modeling. What are some of these things that are coming together which are giving a new meaning to protein chemistry and drug development?
First of all, when I worked on protein chemistry during my PhD days, that was in the 1980s, that was a completely different story from what it is now.
Right.
You know, computational biology and in silico drug discovery have been a boon to the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It has helped to save costs of the pharmaceutical industries. It has helped to save manpower. Yeah. It does not require as much manpower as it required before. Save money, you know. And we have come down to understanding proteins at the molecular atomic level, I would say. You know, so how it combines with a drug,
Right.
how it interacts with the drug, we understand it fully at the atomic level, at the nano level. So this is a boon, and we at the Department of Biotechnology and Bio, we are good at it. We have faculty who do a very good job, and we have fantastic publications in this area. So
You know,
I'm very happy.
the running joke is, because I do a lot of panels with on climate and sustainability, and you know, the running joke is that, and health as well, that you do whatever you want, but the environment, the way you are treating environment, is going to make sure you're going to suffer. And the medical technology on the other side will make sure you live to see that suffering. You know, so both are at opposite to each other. And you are right in the middle, because you are seeing this side of it also. And here, now let's talk about this ecosystem, what you're seeing right now with the way environment is being completely, you know, for the lack of any other word, destroyed. And on the other side is this cutting edge technology. Do you really see in future, or in the work that your PhD scholars are doing, solutions to these problems in real time, or we are now only doing damage control?
Actually, we are doing a lot of damage control. But these damage controls are going to be solutions, right? And there is a way of restoring also. So you can restore things back again. And that doesn't stop you from doing technology advancement.
Right.
So technology advancement has to go on so that we understand systems better. But yes, we have to take care of our environment. And for that, a lot of awareness has to be created, you know. Awareness amongst our previous generation. The younger generation is more aware. The previous generation needs to be made more aware, and we have to be responsible. The social responsibility has to be there, and I'm sure we can strike a balance. I am an eternal positive person, an eternal optimist, and I'm sure we can set things right.
I see you have mentored over 20 PhD scholars. You know, when we talk about PhD in India at the moment, either you have super quality work happening, or you're seeing PhD just being done for professorship or for the heck of it, or because it's been demanded on paper. How do you ensure that the quality of research stays intact, that encourages both fundamental research and industry partnerships? What is the new age of these research looking like at DY? And also, what excites you when you meet these young researchers? Do you guide them basis your interest area, or how does that come about? Or are you secretly wanting to study the subject all over again with them?
Yes. Yeah, you found the secret. That is, of course, there. But largely it depends on their interests also.
Right.
And what we have done at the School of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics is we stick to certain goals. That is the Global Sustainability Development Goals.
SDGs, yes, of
SDGs.
course, they have to be prioritized.
So we try and tell students when they come that when you are doing a project, please
Should there be
align them
alignment?
to these SDGs.
Right.
Don't do meaningless research, right? So align your research programs to these SDGs, and then give us a proper logic for why you want to do it. And then we just go ahead with that, you know. Then we start mentoring. And for us, it is excitement because, you know, we also learn over again. Something which we cannot solve, we collaborate and we solve. But I do not believe in anything less than the best. And so our PhDs who come out are excellent PhD work goes on in our department. And these students, find excellent places abroad. And they go abroad for their postdoctoral studies, or they do work over here. Many have become entrepreneurs, extending their work.
Yeah, now we are seeing this cross-polarization of academia and tech, and it's so exciting. I want to definitely, because, you are, of course, somebody who is a strong voice in the country for academia and how it should be. We do have policies that are supportive, but we do have a lot that needs to be achieved. So at a policy level, what kind of support do you want from the government or from, say, the corporate sector? Is there an ask or is there a wish that if that happens, then perhaps there'll be more solid work that is happening in the field?
Certainly, certainly. Policy support is very important. Yeah, the government is doing its best. And I'm sure it will do more. If there is quality work, it will do more, right? And the industry, the corporates, they have their CSR.
Right.
I think they should divert their CSR into areas which are socially important, like the environment, like health issues, like food security issues. So there they need to come together. And academia, the industry and government, if they sit together, then I think we can do wonders. And we need to do that very soon. So we are in strong collaboration with the industries because, that is quicker.
Right.
The approach is quicker and the talks are quicker. Government requires time and, of course, they are catering to the whole nation. And so it requires time, but I'm sure, we'll go ahead. Because India wants to be a $3 billion bioeconomy by 2030. We are up to about 100 billion now. So we really need to work hard to reach there. And if the government, industry and academia come together, I'm sure we can reach there.
Any research gains a different meaning altogether when we start talking about scale in India, right? How do you see that when we are seeking solutions, even at an academic level, and then, bringing the tech there with the cutting edge departments like yours, where research is happening, but how do you really address the problem at scale?
Yeah, that still has remained a little, in the corner. But as I told you, there are a number of our PhDs who have, done things at the laboratory level.
And then taken
and then had their own industries and scaled it up at their own risk, though. Yeah. And so they have fumbled, but then they have established. And now they are doing very well, So there is one student of ours, Ravindra Patel, who has done so. There is a graduate student of ours, Firoza Firoza Kothari. So she was a graduate. And then she was listed in your 30 Forbes.
All right.
Under 30.
Under 30.
Yeah, under 30. So she had this 3D printing technology. And now she's doing wonders. She is international. She's global. And huge turnover. So I'm very happy with what is happening, So the proof of the pudding lies in all my gems who come out.
Dr. Dasgupta, what do you see as the biggest opportunity and also the challenge for biotech industry in India, say in the next 5 to 10 years?
You see, biopharmaceutical industry has a lot of scope. There are a lot of opportunities in the biopharmaceutical industry. We are also a hub for clinical research, because we are very cost effective. There's a large pool of patients. So these two places, there are lots and lots of opportunities. Even the genomics area and the proteomics area, India is doing very well. And so there's a lot of opportunities in the next generation.
In preventive medicine,
in preventive medicine, in precision medicine, lots is happening in India. So those are the opportunities. And the challenges, of course, are funding, for infrastructure,
Yeah.
infrastructure building, and talent shortage.
Yeah.
And so that is where we step in, and we want to build up the talent.
And where do you see the institution participating in perhaps some of the national opportunities and challenges?
Certainly, in the field of computational biology and in proteomics, genomics, we are doing wonderfully well. And I'm sure some of our students, they have already started. Some of them have started companies of their own, but they're struggling still. And I'm sure within 5 years, they will do wonderfully well for themselves. And also in the field of biopharmaceuticals, we have done a lot of work. We have, these specialized labs, the tissue culture labs, which none of the other, colleges or institutions have, because that's a lot of work.
Right.
But we have these, and we are imparting training. Now, NEP 2020 requires internships and requires training and requires skill. So our, goal and aim is to skill as many students as we can. Right? So we do this for the other colleges. We do this for students all over the city.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Dasgupta. Thank you so much for your time and for these wonderful insights. And of course, best of luck with all the work that you do.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, this was a lovely conversation with Dr. Debjani Dasgupta, an academician, innovator, and an institution builder who continues to shape the future of biotechnology in India. From global collaborations to grassroots work and research, she has proved that her journey is all about power of science in nation building. Thank you for joining us on Forbes India Presents Business Lodestones. Until next time, keep tuning in for more stories of vision, leadership, and impact.